Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around we are talking about the Candy Barb. And straight off the bat, Candy Barb is the best starting class there is out there. I just wanted to mention that in the start. It is the best starting class to start with because of melee, also being some self-sustain and whatnot. So the Candy Barb is a physical damage character, and of course as any of the other classes you want to go for that, but you also want to go check out, of course, getting 100% crit hit as of all of them and getting as much critical damage as you can get as well. So for other than that, you want to talk about his abilities basically. So the abilities is that he's going to swing around and he's going to heal himself and get other ones to heal him as well. So for gems, for example, the class gem is not super needed. You probably want to get it anyways, just to have it around maybe. But the point is that what it does is that it makes a circle around you, and you can then, walk around and kind of suck all the monsters around in when you walk around, but you do walk very slowly with doing that. But yeah, the class gem is not super needed for the Candy Barb. It's very straight up. What the power comes from the Candy Barb is, of course, that he is basically his gumdrops that are going to increase attack speed and stuff like that, and also of course the swirling wing is going to heal you and whatnot. So, and also the ultimate is pretty awesome because it does basically everything for what you want to do. So other than classes in that, you probably want to get a explosive, or you want to get like a pirate disc is also very nice. Also works for everyone. Just the movement speed is just awesome for all classes. And for your power, your cosmic one, you want to go for the vampiric one here. You want to go for the vampiric, and you want to heal off those auto attacks as well. Barrier, as I have, is okay. It's not something you really want. You can also go for the battler, the berserk battler. You can also go with that one. It's going to give you a staggering attack speed. Attack speed is not horrible for the for the Candy Barb. So you want to go a mix of basically everything for stats. You want to go for attack speed, crit hit, crit damage, and stuff like that. And you don't really want to go for a lot of movement speed. You can also go for some magic find, but you really want to just max out your damage instead of going for something. There's other classes that's way better at movement speeds and magic finding and stuff like that, I feel at least. So you just want to go for that attack speed, crit hit, crit damage, and just do that damage when you are going to play this guy. So for subclass, you want to use the Lunar Lancer. Lunar Lancer buff is the absolutely best. You get the 750 physical damage, and you get the proc and stuff like that. It gives you extra attack speed and stuff like that, so you swing those axes and swords and stuff like that even faster. So that's very, very important to use the you can use a few others. There's a few others, of course, but yeah, you really want to use the Lunar Lancer buff for sure. So for ring, you want to get, of course, a physical damage one, and you want to go for that crit hit, or maybe you want to go for some jumps as well if you have enough crit hit. But crit hit is well the best depending on how your gems looks and whatnot. So for allies, you want to use the Rat Berserker. There's not really anything else you want to use. You can go for a little bit like the Flame Dancer, because some I mentioned mostly the Rat Berserker and the Flame Dancer is because the Flame Dancer just is so much basically energy regen. In a lot of classes, you do use energy for swinging around, for example, so that is going to heal you. So the more energy regen you have, the more it's going to heal you, so that's not really terrible to have for sure. So but I would, of course, suggest you do the Rat Berserker, because it also actually does heal you, but it's just when you do defeat a monster, that's when it first is. So I think that's all the gear that we have to talk about. I talked about that. We talked about the gems. The next thing is, of course, the flask. And the flask, you can use whatever you want, but I want to suggest you use Death Defying, because it's probably also going to be one of your first classes, so it's going to be very strong and stuff like that. But you can use any flask you basically desire, but Death Defying is 100% the best one, I would say. So for emblems is of course the not I was about to say the arcane one, but actually the physical damage one of these. We have these two, and as I said, I probably said this in the previous video as well, where these two emblems are the ones you're going to use in all classes. So these are the ones you're going to get the most out of. Next is, of course, you can use the On wielding, you can also kind of use the Berserker, but I wouldn't suggest it because you cannot heal. You cannot use your abilities while this is going on. The Vampiric doesn't heal you enough for that, and just that's just not good enough. You can also use the Trailblazing if you are looking for going a little bit faster, but I wouldn't suggest it. You probably want to get your Sure Strike if you don't have 100%. That's of course a given to get that extra 20% for 10 seconds after you use a flask. You're going to use this one as well. And also, of course, you can then use some of your, what's it called? The ones that spawn allies. You can use those when you have 100% crit hit. So for sure, these are one for mastery, some for store, some for Trove Wanderers and stuff like that. But yeah, you can use whatever you want of these allies when you do get 100%. Many of the others doesn't really work that much. There is some these energy regen ones, or energy like this one gives you all your energy back. For example, is not horrible, but it's just like there's some other better ones indeed. But yeah, if you Sure Strike would definitely be better than this one, but this one is, I guess, not horrible again, like I said, but yeah, definitely something you, if you don't have anything else, it's pretty much open. And that's what the cool thing about the Candy Barb, and that's why it's one of the best starting classes there is out there, because it's also one of the starting classes, but also it doesn't require anything. It doesn't really require any specific gems, not any specific gear, any specific emblems, allies, and stuff like that. You can basically go with more or less everything, and it's going to be very awesome because of its self-heal. Basically, that's the main part, and it does decent damage as well, and it's also melee, so it's a lot better to register hits and stuff like that. So with that said, I think I covered everything. It's probably a little bit of a shorter one than the other ones are, because there's not a lot of cover to the Candy Bar, because it's just like, just play the class, level it up as fast as you can, and yeah, there's a few things of course you kind of want to build for it, but more or less it's pretty open what you can use for it, because that's not where the power or the sustain comes for the Candy Barb. So if you have any questions, anything like that, put them down in the in the comment section. Also, if there's something I missed, make sure you comment down below so people can go down there and check that one out. Also, check out the description and all that other jazz. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.